Welcome to Throat Chakra Yoga Sequence. Throat chakra is about communication, particularly using sound and our voice. This series of poses is particularly to target throat chakra that can help us express ourselves truthfully. And we are starting the sequence in the child's pose. As you lie in child's pose, pay attention to your contact of your hands, forearms, elbows, knees, shins, and tops of your feet with the ground, as well as the contact of your forehead with the ground to help you feel more grounded. Breathe whatever feels good in that particular moment, as well as throughout the sequence. And stay here for the next little while, feeling the movement of your tummy as you breathe against your thighs. As you breathe out, come up on all fours with your hands under your shoulders and knees under your hips. And let's do some cat cows by breathing in and curling the back down and opening up chest and lifting head up. And as you breathe out, curving back up and bringing the head down, closing up chest and tucking the buttocks in. And repeating these movements about 3-4 times until you come back into child's pose. As you breathe out, come up on all fours, hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips. Tuck your toes in and lift your hips up into a downward dog, where you can pedal your feet, shake your head side to side, shake as if you're saying yes or no, or you can just find stillness. Take a few breaths while in downward dog. And as you breathe out, lift your heels, lower your knees, look forward, and step forward towards your hands into a forward fold. Come halfway up from forward fold and come back to forward fold. In forward fold, find stillness, or you can move your upper body side to side with either hands touching the ground or touching elbows, and move your head side to side as if saying yes or no. As you breathe in, slowly roll your back up, bring arms up, and as you breathe out, hands to heart. As you breathe out, lift arms up and dive into a forward fold, placing hands down flat onto the floor and stepping back into a plank and lowering your knees. Option 1 for sun salutations of the knees, where you keep your body and up and thighs in straight line along with the head, and you bring your body down about halfway and then move into a baby cobra by opening up your chest. You can keep your hands on the ground and lift them up. And after that, through tabletop into downward dog. From downward dog, lift your heels, lower your knees, and step forward into a forward fold. Lift halfway up and go into forward fold. From forward fold, as you breathe in, roll your body up, bring your arms up, hands to heart. Breathe in, arms up. Breathe out, dive into forward fold, hands flat on the floor, and step back into a full plank. Sun salutations option 2. From your full plank, lower your body in a straight line in about 4 inches off the ground, and then keeping your weight on the tops of your feet, lower your hips down, opening up chest and head into an upward dog. From upward dog, lift your hips up into a downward dog and stay here for a couple of breaths. Repeat 3 or 4 sun salutations, moving with your breath, and meet in downward dog. Feel free to stay in downward dog or come down into a child's pose. Staying for a while in child's pose or moving up into a up downward dog and staying there for some time. As you breathe out, coming up into a tabletop and lifting your hips up towards the sky, coming into a downward dog. Lifting left leg up to the sky, bring it towards your nose and stepping forward. Bring your arms up into a warrior one position where the back foot is 45 degrees angled, front foot is flat, front knee is about 90 degrees facing forward, arms up. And stay in here for a few breaths. Bringing right arm and left arm in line with your shoulders, opening up towards the right side and looking towards your left hand, staying in warrior 2. The feet and leg position is the same. Stay in here for a few breaths. Lengthening the spine, bring the left arm up, right arm down, looking up towards the left hand, staying in a reverse warrior for a few breaths. From reverse warrior, coming back into warrior two, shortening the stance. The back foot is parallel to the back of the mat, front foot is flat, knees are straight, soft but not locked, and lengthening through the spine, bringing the left arm down, right arm up into a triangle. Transferring all the weight onto the left foot, bring the right leg up, keeping it in straight line with your body, toes pointing down, arms forward as if in Superman. Staying in warrior three for a few breaths. Lowering left arm down to the floor or block and opening up right arm to the sky into a half moon and staying here for a few breaths. Placing both hands on the floor, stepping back into a plank, and going through your variation of sun salutation, either of the knees or of high plank, going into a baby cobra or upward dog, and then into downward dog. You can also take a break in child's pose for a few breaths. From child's pose, coming up into a downward dog, lifting right leg up, bringing it towards your nose, and stepping forward between your hands. Bring your trunk up, coming up into warrior one with back left foot about 45 degrees angle, a right foot flat on the floor, right knee about 90 degrees, arms up, facing forward, and staying here for a few breaths. Bringing left arm and right arm in line with shoulder height, opening up towards the left side, looking forward towards your right hand, staying in warrior two for a few breaths. Lengthening through the spine, reaching forward with right arm, bringing right arm up and left arm down, opening up your chest, looking up towards your right arm, staying in a reverse warrior for a few breaths. Coming back to warrior two, shortening your stance, placing your left foot in line with the back of the mat, front foot flat, both knees straight but not locked, so soft. Lengthening through the trunk, bring your right arm down and left arm up into a triangle. And staying here for a few breaths. Transferring all the weight onto the right foot, Lifting left leg up in line with the floor and the trunk, toes pointing down, arms in a Superman pose, staying in Warrior 3 for a few breaths. Lowering right arm down, lifting left arm up, opening up towards the left side. Right hand can also be on the block for balance, staying in half moon for a few breaths. Placing both hands flat on the floor, stepping back into a plank, and going through your variation of sun salutation, either of the knees or high plank, going into a cobra or upward dog, then downward dog, and meeting in child's pose. From child's pose and through tabletop, come up into downward dog. Travel to the top of your mat. Come all the way up. Hands to heart. Place all your weight onto the left foot and open up your right hip and place your foot on your left leg, wherever it feels good, shin, knee, or the thigh. Keep your hands at heart or lift them up and stay in the tree pose for several breaths. Put the right foot down, shake your legs, and switch sides by transferring all the weight onto the right foot, opening up left hip, placing left foot onto your right leg, shin, knee, or thigh, hands at heart or hands up, stay in tree pose for several breaths. Bring the left foot down, shake it off, and come down into a kneeling position where tops of your feet and shins touch the floor, hands on the low of your back, open up your chest, open up your heart to the sky, and bend backwards into a camel. You can keep your hands on the low of your back, your buttocks, or you can reach for your heels if that is what is comfortable for you. And stay here for several breaths. Come down, laying down on your back with your knees bent, feet flat on the floor, hands by your sides. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, lift your hips up into a bridge. You can just keep your arms by your sides on the floor, or you can bring your shoulders together and put your hands together under your hips and stay here for several breaths. Lower your hips back down onto the floor and get into a final corpse pose. for the final Shavasana. So, this was a sequence for throat chakra, which hopefully can make you feel more confident in expressing yourself as truthfully as possible. Stay in this position for as long as needed, and whenever you're ready, lie on your side, push yourself gently up into a seated position. Thank you. Namaste.